Wanted to do a quick rundown of how I do my recolors in Blender. I stopped using Photoshop because I was running into issues with UV editing and a lot of unsightly seams in the mesh, and I wanted to do it kind of a little more cleanly. So to do that, I separated out my hair. I put everything else into the collection and disabled it for rendering with this little button here and these little buttons. Just turn those all off. This is important for later when we do our bake. And then we go into shading. Click this. Go into shading. And then we have this little scene here. Something, if you don't have it already, is you go into Edit, Preferences, type in Node Wrangler, and just turn that on. You'll want that, because what that allows us to do is click Control, Shift, click, and allows us to preview individual nodes. This is very handy. It also enables the Control T menu for mapping, which we'll need later, potentially. But yeah, for right now, we're going to separate this out a little bit, hit F3, type in color ramp, like that. And this lets us edit. It turns this into a map for this, which allows us to sort of drag these little boxes around to determine how much each one will affect the output. So yeah, in general, this is all you'll need to do for most things. You can get a little crazier with it if you want and add some more nodes and like mix them together and whatnot, but that's outside the scope of this tutorial. So for now, I'm just going to do this. So my hair is originally white and orange. I want to make it, we'll say some two contrasting colors that are easier to distinguish. So we'll go with like bright yellow and like blue, like this. I think that's a good look. So yeah, you can kind of mess with these until you get something that you're happy with. I'm actually going to add a couple more of these. You can click the plus button. And it makes it more gradual, as you can see. So I want to take this one and kind of drop it down maybe a little darker so that we get like a little bit of a separation there. Make this like a brownish or something. Like that. Maybe not quite. Yeah, like a dark blue. I think that looks sick. Okay. You can add as many of these as you want. The effectiveness can kind of vary a little bit, but in general, this is what you do. And I kind of want to drag this one down a little bit to preserve some of the shading on the hair. So just the tips are super bright. Maybe about like here or so. I don't want it to be too intense. You know what? We'll add one more. Drag that a little further away. Add a little closer. We'll make this one a little closer to yellow, like that. Still kind of bright, like roughly there. Something like that works. Yeah, there's our hair. So after this, we scroll out a little bit, hit F3 again, type in image texture, put this in here, click new, type in your name. So we'll call this hair example blue or something. Make sure your width and height are set to 4K, 4096. You can select both at the same time by clicking and dragging down, typing in 4096, and it'll do both of them. Hit OK. Click this one. Make sure this is selected. This is very important. And then click on hair. Make sure that's selected. Make sure you're in the cycles render engine here. Set your max samples to 1 because we're only going to be baking the color. It does not need any more data. And then go down here to bake. Make sure it's set to diffuse. Uncheck direct and indirect. and only color needs to be selected for this. And then click on this, click on that to make sure, and then click bake. And what this is doing is it's taking all of the stuff that we've put in between this and the shader. Essentially, everything that's coming from like between here is getting shoved into this texture so that we can use it in Unity or another game engine or whatever we want. Let me wait for a second. This is a very simple bake because it's just baking color. And as you can see, here's our texture. It bakes exactly how it looks in here onto that texture. And then to test this, we click on the hair. I'm going to make a duplicate of this. Hide this one. Remove the material that we just made from it. And then make a new material. Change the base color to an image texture. And then open this hair example that we made. And there it is. If you go back to the shading tab, you'll be able to see that it only has the hair texture, the shader, and the output. And that's what we want. That means this will be usable in however we want, like in Unity, for example. And that's the gist of it.